Kusangpo, and welcome to this program. Well, as the country prepares for the third parliamentary elections, which is very close now, and BBS is bringing one-on-one interview with the presidents of the four political parties. And as we learn, I think they are also ready to contest for the third parliamentary elections. And I'm joined by the president of People's Democratic Party, Sring Tolge. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
To start with, I would like to ask, how prepared are you for this forthcoming or the third parliamentary elections?
We still have a lot of work to do, but I think we are fairly well prepared. And by prepared, I mean we started 5 years ago. Preparation began with doing the work of the ruling party. So for 5 years, 5 short years I must say, we worked from morning till night, delivering the 11th five-year plan, delivering our pledges, and strengthening our country, improving the lives of our people. And I do believe that these results contribute to the elections. But in the immediate sense, we have strengthened our party structure. We have party workers in all the Gewoks, we have supporters in the Chiwoks, we have party coordinators in the Zongkhags. We have an excellent Secretary General in the form of a former speaker. And then we have our candidates. We have 47 candidates, all of them extremely qualified and experienced. And I would dare say that I can't say that all 47 are the best candidates, but 43, 44 of the candidates are probably the best candidates that are on offer in these elections. And so we are fairly well prepared. Our manifesto is ready and we'll announce it as soon as the Election Commission announces the dates.
And when you say about the preparation that has been actually ongoing for the last 5 years, even when you were ruling the government, and we get people have this feeling that you have been like picking your candidates even before the government dissolved. What do you have to say on this?
Yes, we did. We worked on replacing a few candidates, identifying the best possible candidates. But remember, when I say the last 5 years we prepared, that is not the political part. That is the actual functioning as the ruling party, as a government. We worked very hard to ensure that the 11th five-year plan was a success. And that success will translate to the trust and confidence of the people during voting day. And this is why I say we prepared for the last 5 years. But in terms of the candidates, yes, we have tried to get the best candidates. And we have had meetings in the party. We have had meeting among the earlier MPs when we were in the ruling party. And we've made it very clear that unless an MP can deliver, we'll have to change you. And we have had to change a few MPs that way. But there are still a few other MPs who have come forward and said that they want to pursue other activities. They want to build a building, they want to take care of their business, they want to go for further studies. And because of that, we have had to look for replacements. So altogether, we've had to replace 15 MPs, 2 of them because of age, but 13 we've had to replace, and many on their own voluntarily. But the point is, of the 15 MPs, we have 15 of the best candidates. And of the 15 MPs that the Druk Phunsun Sokpa had won in the 2013 election, of those 15, we have changed 14 MPs, 14 candidates. So altogether, we have 29 new candidates.
But to talk about the smooth functioning of the government as you were ruling, and also to succeed, you said you had to do all this. But if you talk about some of the achievements, what do you think was the greatest achievement as you ruled the country for the last 5 years?
Well, we were able to get good candidates. I'm going to take you back to the first question. We were able to get good candidates partly, or rather mainly, because we have served well as a ruling party. Otherwise, why would good candidates join us? Secondly, I see it my responsibility as president of the party to leave no stone unturned to get the best possible candidates, because these candidates will ultimately represent the people. And this is why we have gone all out to look for the best possible candidates. In the past 5 years, you ask about our biggest achievement. That's not for me to say. Well, we can, the 11th 5-year plan is, by all accounts, very successful, and successful not by my account, but by Gross National Happiness Commission and the National Statistical Bureau. It's their job to come up with the numbers, and according to them, it's very successful. If we have succeeded, it is because of the guidance and support, the Royal Council of His Majesty the King, the prayers of our Jabje Kempo and all the monks throughout the country, and especially our civil servants, local government. They have worked beyond the call of duty, and this is what has given us a successful 11th 5-year plan. But the bottom line is, I have to ask myself, have we made our king proud? If we haven't, we would have failed. I have to ask myself, have we improved the lives of our people? Have we delivered the hopes and aspirations of our people? If we have not, we have failed. So the judge is not us. The judge must be the people.
As you say, it is for the people to judge, or for the people to see what achievements the party had made. But personally, if you must have felt, yes, we did this. That was good. So if you can tell us.
In the past 5 years, I've woken up in the middle of the night and I've asked myself, are we doing the right thing? Are we failing anywhere? I've woken up many times and I've said, in the midst of all the successes, there may be a blind spot. I may have a blind spot where we are failing miserably. And I've had to ask myself and ask people. I've had to ask myself, are we serving His Majesty the King well? Because in our democracy, for our country, His Majesty the King is crucial. And so overall now, in spite of many anxious moments I've had, I can tell you that I have worked very hard, that the team has worked extremely hard, and we have enjoyed unprecedented support from the civil servants and the local government. So at the end, when my tenure ended, I didn't have any misgivings. I felt a sense of fulfillment. And especially considering the fact that in the last 5 years, we were able to serve His Majesty the King to the best of our ability. In the last 5 years, we were able to correct the economy and stabilize the economy, and not just stabilize it, but grow the economy. And then in the last 5 years, we've enjoyed peace and prosperity in the country. So given these three realities, I felt comfortable.
But still then, if you don't want to call some failures as I have asked, but were there some challenges that you...
We must have failed in many areas. Yeah, and any failure and all failures are my accountability. I take full responsibility for those. One area where we seem to have failed is unemployment. It's a peculiar situation, because when you look at the numbers, on the one hand, we've created more than enough jobs. We've created more jobs than children leaving school. In fact, even today, there are a lot of vacancies. There are vacancies in government corporations, about 500. There are vacancies to go and work abroad also. And then there's vacancies in the private sector. And then there are new opportunities for self-employment, for cottage industries, loan facilities available for them, new opportunities arising in the agricultural sector. So these opportunities are there, many of them still vacant. But on the other hand, there are children, there are youth who are still unemployed. And as much as we have tried, in fact, in the last 5 years, we spent 1.2 billion niltrams subsidizing the salaries of our youth so that they can find work. And in spite of that, we have to acknowledge the fact that there are youth who are still looking for jobs. Now, you can't expect to complete school today and get a job tomorrow. You can't expect to complete college today and get a job tomorrow. But you really expect to have them working by 6 months, or latest by 1 year. And I know that while the numbers are not great, however few the numbers may be in terms of not being employed after a year, every one of them is a personal failure.
Where do you think lies the problem with this? You're saying there are vacancies, there are opportunities, but still our youth remain unemployed.
Well,
what do you think can be done?
we need to work together. We need to understand each other. We need to understand that the hopes and aspirations of our youth are very ambitious. On the other hand, our youth are also capable and they are able to deliver these. So we have to understand that our youth are also very patient. They are going to choose their jobs very carefully. On the other hand, the jobs that are available the information on those jobs may not be accessible by the youth. So we need to sit together and really understand the youth on the one hand. On the other hand, the youth must understand all the opportunities that are available. And that will go a long way in sorting out the situation. I tried this in the Ministry of Labour. I said every Friday we'll have an open house for our youth. And somehow that didn't gain traction. We had a few meetings, but it really didn't gain traction. And if we were able to launch something like this, where any youth who's unemployed, who's interested, and some are desperate, especially the desperate ones, if they come together and meet with government and private sector and the Prime Minister himself or herself, I think that can go a long way in sorting out the problem that we face.
Whichever parties or political parties, whoever wants to contest for the election, they always say they have this, they want to address unemployment, they want to address this poverty elevation, but they don't tell us or tell the voters how they are going to do it most of the time.
Well, for both of them, whether it's unemployment or poverty elevation, the bottom line is the economy must be stable. Next, the economy must grow. Third, the economy must growth in the economy must be productive, leading to jobs. So once we have this sorted out, then employment is automatically created. This is why we have so many vacancies now, because the economy has really grown. On the other hand, economic growth must be balanced. There must be economic opportunities throughout the country, and that will address poverty, especially in the rural areas. Now that said, everything can't be left to economic forces. Everything can't be left to market forces. The government must play a proactive role. This is why we've invested so much money in rural Bhutan. Ultimately, it's about improving the productivity of all our simple farmers, but especially those that are poor. We have identified in the last 5 years 2,678 households that are identified as poor and need direct intervention. This is what the government can do. This is what we did. And now in the 12th plan, if we target those houses, immediately we have the poorest of the poor. 2,678 households come out of poverty. On the other hand, we must continue to expand the economy, diversify our economy, thereby creating jobs. And if those jobs are not attractive enough, the government must step in, provide incentives to the private sector, to the workers for the private sector, and if need be, establish government-owned corporations. We established something like 11. Ultimately, those government-owned corporations, once they become mature, if not all, at least a few of them should be privatized and privatized to the workers. So if youth join these state-owned companies, ultimately the vision must be to privatize these new state-owned companies, but privatize them not to a few rich individuals, but to the workers themselves.
We talk about our economy that should be addressing all this to improve our economy, which should be stable. How stable or what is the economic situation presently? What do you think about our economy?
The people know. If the economy was not stable, if the economy was not strong, people would feel the pinch. People would be living in anxiety. Remember 2012, 2013, the fact that the economy grew at only 2.14%, it doesn't resonate with you and I. I mean, most people wouldn't, you and I would know, but most people wouldn't understand what it meant. That the fact that the inflation at that time was more than 8%, people wouldn't understand those numbers. But what people would know is that they couldn't pay for what they required. And where they could pay, they were not able to buy things because there was a rupee crisis. You couldn't go across the border to Jaigong itself and buy goods unless you had rupee. And if you wanted to buy with Niltram, you had to pay much more than the shelf price. You couldn't build homes, you couldn't buy cows, you couldn't buy cars, vehicles, and you couldn't avail loans. So that was the situation, and everybody understood that then. Today, the situation has changed. I mean, in the last 5 years, our private sector has bought 7,000 Boleros. 7,000 Boleros. And you can see that it's not in Thimphu. It's all gone outside Thimphu into rural areas. That is a measure of the prosperity. This is why poverty rates have also fallen. But if you look at the figures now, inflation is low, barely little over 4% only. GDP has almost doubled. In 2012, it was 101 billion. Now it's 180 billion niltrams, our GDP. It's growing at one of the fastest rates in the world. Still growing at 7% excuse me, per year. Foreign currency reserves has exceeded $1 billion for the first time. Now it's almost at $1.2 billion. Loans, people are concerned. Yeah, and I have gone and explained at great length, we should be concerned about loans, but we should see what is creating the loans, for what the loans have been taken. If it is to build hydropower projects, then we must take loan, unless you don't want to build hydropower projects. But we also have to understand, in fact we know, that hydropower projects themselves will clear the loan. So we should be not concerned about the hydro loan, which has grown, by the way, significantly in the last 5 years, because we did a lot of investment in the hydropower sector. But where we should be really concerned about is the non-hydro loans. And the non-hydro loans has fallen in the last 5 years. It used to be 41 billion in 2013. Today it is 37 billion. It has actually declined. So even in terms of external loans, we are in good shape. So by all measures, our economy is booming. Our economy is doing so well that we've been able to reduce the interest rates on loans. It used to be an average of about 13.6%. Today it's 10.4%, I think. So that has allowed our investors, whether it is a farmer buying cows in a remote village or an industrialist starting a new industry, it has allowed them to become more industrious and more productive, and thereby adding to our economic growth.
But with all these good things happening on the economic front, people are still worried about our huge national debt. What do you have to say on this?
When I said loans, I meant the national debt. So today the national debt is 170 billion. It used to be 95 billion. That increase from 95 billion to 107 billion is largely because of hydropower debt. And I said, unless you don't want to invest in hydropower, unless you don't want to invest, then if we are investing, if we are going to make use of our hydro resources, then we have to take loans to build hydropower projects, loans that will be paid off by hydropower projects themselves. That's why Chuka has paid off its hydropower debt. Kurichu has paid it off. Tala is going to pay off the hydropower debt this year. And this is the opportunity in the hydropower sector. Where we need to be concerned, the debt we need to be concerned is the non-hydropower loans, non-hydropower debt. And I repeat, that has actually fallen. In the last 5 years, it fell from 41 billion to 37 billion. It has fallen by 4 billion.
Okay, now people want new ideas and approach of development, and parties have to offer. What does PDP has when it comes to a new approach of development?
The new ideas and the approaches we offered in 2013 has worked well through 2018. We have to provide more of the same. We have to provide continuity now. If something is not working, if the government is not delivering, we must demand change. If things are working for the benefit of our country and our people, we must demand continuity. So what we have done in the last 5 years, we must continue. But with a big difference, because the 12th five-year plan is going to offer huge opportunities. We have to harvest those opportunities. So the 11th five-year plan was 224 billion niltrams. The 12th five-year plan we have drafted, the 12th five-year plan that we drafted is estimated at 336 billion niltrams. Now 336 billion niltrams is a lot of money. If a government cannot raise that money internally and through grants, then we are going to be in trouble. If a government can raise that money, then our country is going to enjoy unprecedented prosperity in the 12th Five-Year Plan. And we do believe that we'll be able to raise that funds.
Now, if you can tell us your party's ideology and also what are some of the things there in your manifesto.
So overall, the guiding philosophy is gross national happiness. And I think everyone in the country abides by it, gross national happiness. But how you implement gross national happiness, there are many strategies. And the most important strategy has been decentralization, which has been emphasized by His Majesty the Fourth King. And therefore, our party's focus is decentralization. Our ideology, if you will, is decentralization. And by decentralization, I mean really devolving power and authority and resources from the central government to all the relevant offices and to the local governments. Unless we devolve power to the local governments, to the people themselves, our country is not going to prosper. So that has been the focus in the last 5 years. It's going to continue to be the focus in the next 5 years. However, in the last 5 years, where we have, I believe, excelled, as I mentioned to you, where I get a sense of satisfaction, is the fact that in the last 5 years, we were able to serve His Majesty the King's vision. We were able to strengthen our economy, make the fundamentals strong. We were able to take care of relations within the country, among the Bhutanese, but also relations among our neighboring countries. They are at an all-time high now, our relations. And so these fundamentals must be taken forward for the 12th Five-Year Plan also and be made use of. So today we enjoy peace, prosperity, stability, unity. And therefore, in the 12th Plan, while continuing with the ideology of decentralization, decentralizing power and authority from the center to the people, we will continue to focus on establishing unity, stability, and prosperity.
Okay, now, should your party come to power again, what would be the first thing that you want to do, if you can tell us briefly?
The first thing is 12th Five-Year Plan. We must ensure, we already lost time now. Yeah, by the time it's November, we would have lost 5 months. The first thing you must do is ensure that the resources are in place and the 12th Five-Year Plan would be set into motion immediately.
Okay, now, we had been asking this the final question to all the presidents. Should you make it through the primary round, are you going to change some of the candidates which the law or the Election Act allows? Are you going to do this? Changing
in the service of the country and the people, no stone should be left unturned. If something is going to help service of our country, help towards serving our people, you should go all out as long as it is legal. And in that context, if there are opportunities where there are better candidates, brighter candidates available, as of now, I don't see how they're going to be available. I'm being very, very honest, because our candidates are very, very good. They're exceptionally good. However, in the event that some other candidate is better and can do a better job serving our Sawa Sum, we should not hesitate to change them.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. That was the President of the People's Democratic Party, Sring Togye, talking to us.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this program. Thank you.